Hi, my name is John, and I want to talk to you about me switching from Windows to Linux and how amazing that was. I thought it's going to be stressful and hectic and annoying and nothing will work. And the opposite was true. This journey began a few years ago. I started with my old Windows Microsoft Surface Pro um, that had performance issues. It was very old at that time, and Windows 10 had to be reinstalled every 3, 4 weeks in order for the whole thing not to slow down and be annoying. And so I was offered help with installing Linux, and I did that, and it worked great. I didn't use it for much. Uh, I used it like I use Windows. I opened my browser, I opened my uh, thingy to write notes about my Dungeons and Dragons games, and so on and so forth. And I was kind of happy. Uh, but it looked like Windows, it acted like Windows, and I didn't interact with it in any meaningful way. Um, and when that computer broke down, I thought to myself, I want to learn more about Linux. I was unhappy with Windows 11. I was unhappy with Microsoft. I don't really enjoy being asked the same question if I consent to something being done to my computer every other week. If I can't even say no, that makes me annoyed and angry at you. Uh, and especially if you're my computer and you're not doing what I want, that gets under my skin. Anyway, I was recommended to go to either distropicker.com or distrochooser.de. Um, on distrochooser.de, you can change the language from German, here Sprache Deutsch, to language English or any other you want, and then you can do a short quiz that will help you find the proper distro or distribution of Linux for you. You can do the same here on DistroPicker, or you can explore distros. A distro is a distribution of Linux. You can kind of think of it like different types of coffee, different types of Linuxes. Um, they all have some things in common and some things don't. Some of them have a lot of things pre-configured. For example, Linux Mint and Manjaro have a lot of things pre-configured. If you want to just install the thing and use it like you use your old machine and your old operating system, I think you could not go wrong with them, even with very little to no experience with Linux, or computers, or Technic, or whatsoever. I'm not well versed with these things, and I had a lot of good experiences with Linux Mint. And when my old computer, my old laptop broke down, and I was very nicely gifted a ThinkPad that was a little bit faster than my very, very old laptop. I thought to myself, let's install Manjaro. Um, it's also beginner friendly. It looks nice from the beginning. Looking at this makes me nostalgic because my current laptop I used to look like this. I didn't change anything, and so around 1 month ago, I thought to myself, why not make Linux my own? That's the great thing about Linux. I heard you can customize it. You can change everything. And I started doing that. I started changing how the programs look, how the background looks, and I was really hooked on that. And I started learning more and more and more about Linux, and it didn't sound that scary anymore. I was comfortable doing things here in the terminal. Uh, you can also do wacky, silly things in the terminal, and I was really happy with that. And I thought to myself, after a month or two of playing with Manjaro. Maybe I want to try something more hardcore. That's an overstatement. I went with Arch Linux, which is notorious for being hard. If you start it, this is all you have. You just have your terminal. You don't even have a browser, and you need to install your whole system via the terminal. You can also write Arch install, but some people think that's cheating. I don't think. It's a tool. You can use it. It's fine. And I had a lot of fun. I learned so much after installing Arch. I was forced to learn so much. You have to configure everything yourself at first and make everything work. And I had such a blast. It was amazing. Finally, my computer did what I wanted it to do. It looked like I wanted it to do. I wasn't constantly fighting an UI that doesn't want to be changed. I wasn't fighting programs being added even though I didn't want them to. It was great, and I learned a lot. And I realized I do not want Windows in my life anymore. I can't take it. But for my desktop, Arch was a bit too risky for me. I ruined the laptop 5 times and had to reinstall Arch 6 times. And I thought to myself, no, I'm only playing here. I want something more relaxed, and I was recommended CachyOS. And what I have here is a clean install. I only changed 5 things. I changed the background to be this picture. I added this clock. I added a weather thingy so I can see that the temperature outside is roasting me and burning me alive. I added a media player, and I did one other thing. Here in the settings, I changed the colors from Noctalia default, which looks kind of okay, to Cat Puchin because I think that's cute and more fun. That's basically all I did. The rest is working out of the box like it should. It's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun. And the wacky thing for me is even gaming works really, really well. I've been playing the Volume demo, which is a lot of fun. You're exploring kind of a weird Soviet landscape, brutalist buildings, and by running around the walls, and you're trying not to fall down. And that worked. But that's not too hard because the game is supported by Steam, and Steam really tries to get games to work on Linux. What I had problems with installing was World of Warcraft, and then I found Vaugus, and that lets install Battle.net. Here we can see Battle.net running, and here we can see World of Warcraft running with good frames, good graphics, no stutter, no problems whatsoever. I'm so happy. That was the only thing where I was worried that it might not work well. Oh, sure, there are some games that you can't play that need kernel level access for anti-cheat programs, but I'm not playing League, I'm not playing any of those multiplayer shooters. So, yeah, you shouldn't either. Those are horrible. And Linux is a lot of fun. Anyway, that's basically it. Everything works out of the box. If you don't like how this looks, you can install a different distribution, or you can change the display manager. I'm running Neri with the Noctalia shell. The Noctalia shell is this bar up here, and it provides these widgets. Anything you don't like, you can change. and you can change it to fit exactly how you want it to work. I really like this because it's fun. I never had anything like this on Windows. And I open a lot of windows to look something up, and then I close it again. That's under Windows and under other different window managers. That's kind of annoying. But since Neary, the thing I'm using here, is a scrollable tiling window manager, it's fits how I work and how I interact with my computer so well, and I'm so excited. It just everything works out of the box. Even let's open Krita. Krita is a drawing program that's open source, meaning you don't have to pay anything for it. It also works on Windows. Let's make it bigger. You can draw stuff here, and you can draw a lot of things. And one of the things I was struggling with was this. This is my brush. If I just gently touch it to my tablet, it does light strokes. But what I could never get it to do on the Windows, turning around. And that's one of the features my tablet has, and that I want to use so I can change how the brush touches the canvas. And I had such big problems getting that to work on the Windows. And here on Linux, I just installed the necessary drivers and it was good to go. Everything worked for me out of the box. Thankfully, because I'm not good enough to troubleshoot things on my own. But what I learned is a lot of people have the same problems like you. And someone will have helped them already. And you can just follow those instructions. If you can do that, you will be fine. And if you're not fine with doing that, then using a distribution that's easier than CatchOS, like Manjaro or Linux Mint or Pop! OS will be really nice for you. You can't do anything wrong with that. Anyway, that's enough for my person. Have a nice day and don't forget to melt in the heat. Bye.